Have you ever wondered why SpaceX succeeded at building products where so many have failed, and how you can replicate their model in your industry, business, and product? If so, this video is for you. I'm John, and I've led global product teams and profitable product portfolios in the billions as a founder, part of the startup C-suite, Big Four consultant, and Fortune 100 executive. And I can confidently say SpaceX's strategy of simplification is powerful, not only for product success, but when it comes to optimizing delivery, reducing costs, and improving profitability. They have a relentless focus on removing parts of the product, not only adding new capabilities. Yet, many product teams fail to simplify their products over time and aren't sure how to go about it. So my promise to you, stick with me and I'll share SpaceX's strategy, the idea behind a reverse roadmap, and how tech giants use the deletion strategy. You'll also hear a personal story about a time my strategy to delete was deleted and what I did about it. And make sure to stay until the end to learn how you can get started using your roadmap to simplify your product. If you're not adding things back at least 10% of the time, you're clearly not deleting enough. Elon Musk. There are moments when you hear something so simple, yet so profound, sort of like an earworm, those melodies you can't get out of your head. I'm not sure there's an equivalent, eloquent phrase outside of music for a saying in business that hits you just as hard and rocks your world. But this was one of those moments. I was listening to a podcast and the guest was Elon Musk. The topic, SpaceX. I'll paraphrase here, but the idea was to make the requirements less dumb and complex by deleting, then deleting some more until you've deleted a little too much. The SpaceX Raptor engines are a great example. They've gotten significantly simpler iteration over iteration despite being rocket engines for space travel. Then, hearing the idea repeated, delete, 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 I started thinking about products in general and roadmaps specifically. Why do we often think of simplifying pre-release but rarely post-release? Why do we leave in old features rather than trimming the product, holding onto them like that comfortably worn, cherished old sweater? We don't plan for simplification. We don't plan to delete, delete, delete once we release. But why? All of a sudden, it became rather obvious. We have a roadmap that is largely, if not entirely, focused on releasing new stuff while maintaining what we have. But for some reason, we don't have a roadmap focused on decluttering and simplifying the product. How do we solve this problem? A reverse roadmap. A roadmap focused entirely on eliminating parts of the product, making the product less complex, deleting and streamlining. Rather than a roadmap focused solely on building the future, have one focused on undoing the dumb or unused features of the past. A reverse roadmap, a means of revisiting the past, a reason and an excuse to take another look at parts of the product no longer delivering value. Seems worth considering. Challenge accepted. Why make such a big deal about this? About the idea of a reverse roadmap. Why not simply incorporate deletion into your existing roadmap? Because it won't happen. I've always worked double time to save space on the roadmap and simplify things. And simplification is the first thing sacrificed when a new shiny object comes along. A killer feature, a client request worth millions, or anything future-oriented. I'm sure you've experienced it. So I'm proposing something new, a reverse roadmap separate from your core, forward-facing, forward-marching toward the future roadmap. A roadmap with a dedicated budget, resources, and clear goals aligned to your strategy. What would this roadmap look like? Nothing that's all that different from a traditional roadmap. Same format, same input, same need for outcomes, metrics, learning loops. You get the point. With one primary difference. Success is determined by what you eliminate from the reduction in cost or improvement in other metrics, not the value directly generated by the feature. My proposal, spend as much time planning for what you will get rid of as you do planning for what you will add. The end result is two roadmaps. One where you commit to adding value and one where you commit to creating value through simplification. I've tried many tactics to make space for maintenance activities on product roadmaps, including declarative statements like 40% goes to product health backed by capacity plans. They never work. This was one such situation. The product leadership team agreed and memorialized the decision that our product was bloated and we needed to streamline it. We had debated the options, building a new app in parallel, refactoring it piece by piece, abstracting all the features into a configuration layer, and many more. None seemed viable given the constraints. So we agreed to carve out half of our product health budget, roughly 20% of the roadmap, to sunset unused or minimally used features. It was a big and risky commitment, as no one likes to work on cleanup duty. Product teams would much rather build new stuff, but it had to be done. We were now reviewing the features to be sunset and the teams to work on them. Then, out of the blue, marketing said, but what if someone wants the feature? Look, why did I invite them, I thought, even though I always invite marketing to roadmap discussions. For reference, less than 0.5% of users accidentally use this feature once per year. Of course, the accidental part was my hypothesis. After a few minutes of back and forth and my agreeing to bring it back from the dead if the marketer gathered enough data, it was added to the for elimination section on the product health section of the roadmap. Problem solved, at least I thought. Fast forward a few months and we had barely eliminated anything. It turns out that the marketer did not agree. Instead, they decided to play subversive spy games and convince executive leadership that we needed so many new capabilities that we had to scrap our plans for deletion. I was pissed. So what did I do? This was around the time that the idea of a separate reverse roadmap came to mind, one with clear value targets tied to it. Value targets so enticing that executive leadership wouldn't dare vote them down. And besides, the roadmap and teams would be separate and hard to interchange. The value-driven reverse roadmap was born. It's probably evident to you at this point why it's a good idea to have a separate reverse roadmap and squad focused on deletion. However, getting leadership or your team there may not be easy. So here are a few points to help you convince them to not only allow it, but to get excited. First, everyone loves a business case. However, I've found that an amorphous bucket of roadmap help items with reserved capacity doesn't always neatly tie out to value. With a dedicated reverse roadmap, it's easy to show the value and consequences of reallocating capacity. I've also found it helps to show the positive impact on other teams, customer implementation, for example. Finally, those teams that deliver the deletion get tangible credit for their work. Second, eliminate the bloat. Let's face it, all products bloat over time. They collect features that perhaps once were a good idea, heavily used, and important differentiators. But customers and users change over time. What they found valuable 2 years ago may no longer evoke positive feelings. Yet, most product teams leave those old, neglected features there. Instead, focus on eliminating the bloat. Put your product on a diet and shed those old, unwanted requirements. Not only will your product function better, but it will also cost less to maintain. Another bonus when it comes to the business case. 3, experience wins. Very few leaders and product teams don't want to improve the experience for customers and users. With a dedicated reverse roadmap, you can easily show the experience improvements due to the deletion. It's also easier to measure when specific deletions are called out. Chalk up a win for the user. A bonus, a reverse roadmap also supports customer conversations about future changes and migration options. And 4, extra space. The cost of maintaining old features is high, both from the perspective of backward compatibility and increased complexity. Old features no longer used consume space on your roadmap while creating clutter in your product. Eliminating those features will make it feel good and allow time to test new concepts. Who knows, perhaps your next killer feature will come from deleting one that no one uses. Eliminating old, worn-out features is not a new concept. However, a reverse roadmap separate from your core product roadmap is an emerging concept. I've worked with several product companies and talked with peers, and the idea of a reverse roadmap certainly gets some looks. No one opposes the idea of sunsetting the old, and no one opposes the idea of including features for deletion in a roadmap. However, they often question the idea of having a separate roadmap for those features. So, in the spirit of arming you for the conversation, I asked around, and several big names are embracing the idea. Now, in full disclosure, I haven't talked with these companies about the specifics. However, I did do some research to validate. So, with that out of the way, here are 3 examples of companies with what I would call a reverse roadmap. Adobe. Adobe maintains a separate retirement roadmap that outlines its plans for discontinuing older versions of software and services with clear end-of-life dates and migration options. Their hope? Better customer communication. Atlassian has an end-of-life roadmap that covers plans for retiring older versions of their products such as Jira Server. This roadmap details when features will be sunset and when support, bug fixes, and security updates will end. Their hope? You migrate to a new cloud-based offering. Salesforce. Salesforce provides Salesforce retirement roadmaps that detail its plans for retiring legacy user interfaces. The Salesforce Classic retirement roadmap is one such example. Their hope? That you make a smooth transition from legacy to new user interfaces. So how can I get started? Are you ready to retire some features and create your reverse roadmap? If so, here are 6 steps to take. 1, talk with the team. Prepare them for what's coming. Get them on board and get them supporting your initiative. Let them know that some of them will be working to throw a retirement plan for features that need to be sunset. Create a contest to find the most impactful items to delete. 2, establish a framework. Define clear criteria for identifying what you will retire and how you will prioritize features for retirement. For example, low usage, high maintenance costs, out of line with the strategy, or anything in the same spirit. Make sure the framework includes steps to identify, measure, execute, and reverse deletion if needed. 3, catalog all features. You can't decide what to delete if you don't know what you have. While it's best practice to have a master inventory, I often find these go out of date for old features, especially the metadata like usage metrics, cost, customer feedback, integration, dependencies, and the like. 4, develop the reverse roadmap. Decide how much capacity you will dedicate. Prioritize the features for deletion based on the business case, efficiency gains, experience, and extra space they can create. Assign an outcome and a metric to each to ensure you capture the value. Create a budget and an efficiency plan tied to the business case, and then ask finance to help you manage it. 5, communicate the plan. This may be obvious, but you need to let leaders, stakeholders, and customers know. Never keep it a secret. I'd suggest publishing a version of the reverse roadmap. Transparency is critical to prevent suspicion, negativity, and overreaction. Keep it up to date and communicate early and often. And 6, measure the value. Learn and iterate. Just as you would for a new feature, measure and publish the value of the features you delete. Learn from the process and iterate. In some ways, it may feel like learning in reverse, but the better you get at deletion, the more space you will create for new outcomes-driven features in the future. Product bloat is inevitable. It's your choice whether you deal with it. Of course, my suggestion is delete, 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 and don't worry if you delete too much. With the right planning and execution, you can always restore a feature. An important point, once you delete, throw a retirement party for all those old features. They were once important. Give the teams that built them the respect they deserve. And in the wise words of Elon Musk, if you're not adding things back at least 10% of the time, you're clearly not deleting enough. If you'd like to stay up to date with the latest in product, hit like, subscribe, and turn on those notifications. And please drop me a comment. Thanks for watching.